a lot of the Broadway people completely left the cities. The whole neighborhood is really hurting. We have, I believe, 22 homeless shelters in the neighborhood now. We also wanted to work with artisans all over the world. We would bring things that were made by hand with pride, with joy. We believe in the vibrations of every item that we surround ourselves with.
I'm on my way to Domus, a wonderful little gift shop in Hell's Kitchen that has been around for about 20 years and is unfortunately closing. But I'm going to speak to the business owners who are going to tell us about Hell's Kitchen, the business itself, why they're closing, and what the importance of brick and mortar stores are to community. So let's get over to Domus. I'm Red Young, and this is Hell's Kitchen.
Hi, I'm Luisa. We opened this store in November of 2002. After 9/11, the whole city was having an epiphany moment, and people were not going out so much, but they were staying inside their homes with their family and friends. We thought we would open a store to sort of feather their homes, to make it more appealing and more intimate.
We also wanted to make a lifestyle change. That's what the store was, an extension of our home.
What is the lifestyle that the store conveys, that the products convey, and what do you think was missing from the city? You mentioned 9/11. What was it that was kind of missing that is provided here?
Well, first of all, our mission was less plastic, more soul. You will find very little synthetic materials or plastics of any kind in our store. And we also wanted to work with artisans all over the world. We would bring things that were made by hand with pride, with joy. We believe in the vibrations of every item that we surround ourselves with. This neighborhood in particular, with a lot of people from Broadway and the arts, value things that were one of a kind and made by hand. We travel all over the world and we work directly with the artisan, most of the artisans that we represent. And so the stories that we bring back have a lot of meanings for our customers. We can tell them where we found them and how they were made. It becomes a much more personal object than if something was bought off the shelf in any big box store.
How do you think that's affected the neighborhood, your business and the store, and how people perceive these sort of institutions?
The big box stores always take away from the small stores because we cannot compete on the price. You either appreciate the quality of a one-of-a-kind piece or you don't, and therefore it is the same to you to go and buy something from Target or from any other big box store. For 22 years, we have really relied on the fact that in this neighborhood, people really appreciate the difference. The more people buy online, the less they are knowledgeable customers. They cannot make a difference between something woven by hand or something machine-made in mass quantities. And that's why you see so many stores disappearing from all over New York and really the entire world.
What are some of the other stores in the neighborhood that embody that sort of unique essence?
Oh, there is a lovely store called Fine and Dandy here on 49th Street. I think we have the same ethics. There are other stores, but not with this kind of mission that we had. We feel like we're becoming a little bit dinosaurs in this world of consumerism.
What makes Hell's Kitchen special? What makes it special to have a business here and this kind of business in this place?
Hell's Kitchen is such a special place. First of all, it's populated by so many artists and people in the arts. Broadway, the dressers, the musicians, the writers, so many of those kind of people that have traveled the world and therefore really appreciate unique things. That's what we have offered throughout these 22 years that we've been here.
There's all these behind cost of having a store. The service and price and everything, it's just not realistic.
The cost of everything has gone up. For example, cost of credit card processing, gift wrapping, the equation has shifted. So there are higher costs and fewer customers.
It's usually just Louisa and myself, and then we'll get a helper in for when we're busy. It's really hard for us to find help and then also to afford full-time help. Just
Impossible to
for us to make our margins, we need to be open every day, but physically, the hours and the time, and for us to give the kind of service that is really important to us, we just can't do it.
We cannot be open 7 days a week.
So talk a little bit more about like the combination of different things that are going on that are impeding the business and your energy.
Well, during the pandemic, we lost 18 months of Broadway, which meant that a lot of the Broadway people completely left the city simply because they could no longer afford their apartments.
And offices.
The offices are now sort of barely back, maybe 2-3 days a week at the most. We used to have tremendous business from Viacom and the Midtown offices. Now Broadway, in order to retain customers in the city after work, most of the shows are at 7:00. That does not allow people to have a nice meal out after work, let alone shop and have a meal, which was what was happening before. The extra hour really allowed people to have a meal, come and shop, and then go to a show. Now this is not happening anymore.
Yeah, the restaurants we hear are really hurting.
Really hurting.
I mean, we're fortunate that it's just us that can make the store run. But to make a restaurant run, you have a whole team
and people.
And then the expense of the food, the ribbons won't go bad.
Yes.
It's
the whole neighborhood is really hurting. There is also another factor. We have, I believe, 22 homeless shelters in the neighborhood now. It's a disproportionate percentage compared to any other neighborhood in the city. Unfortunately, you see many episodes of street rage, unruly behavior, or disheveled and dirty, smelly people lying in the street. Definitely a very visible change in the neighborhood. Not a good one.
We just want to be clear, we're not against the shelters. It's just the number of them. Quite a few times I hear customers or people walking by talking to their friends saying, I don't normally walk down this street. It's dark. Our street is kind of dark.
Right.
And then also they hear people yelling, having a moment.
Yes, we have been, unfortunately, the recipients of some of these behavior a few times. So once Nikki was attacked and hurt. Another time we had to call some neighbors to help us out because there was a person that we could not get out of the store, that she was behaving in a very irrational and potentially dangerous way.
Past the store, what do you guys want? What do you think you deserve in terms of rest, relaxation?
We are going to go online, but we hope to create events where maybe we have pop-up shops. We hope to come out with solutions because it's too soon to say goodbye to Hell's Kitchen. We just love the people
and
here.
It is our family.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, people started as customers, but then they became truly our family. We don't have a family here in New York. We have met amazing people that have embraced us.
So you guys won't be able to give up that process of curating and finding and sourcing all these different gifts?
We hope we can do it in a small scale.
We don't know. Yes. We're kind of afraid.
So it is a lot of work, of course.
A lot of work.
Find all this stuff. But do you still find joy in it?
Totally. Yes. Unfortunately, one of the aspects of having a store like ours is that 80% of the resources go into finding the sources. The money is made in the repetition. And that's why big box stores that can produce, 50,000 of something because they amortize the cost of creating that item or finding that item. In our case, we want something new and fresh all the time. So once we have found something and we sold it once or twice, then we want to go and find something else. So it's not a very good financial solution, but this is how we like to do our business. Our customers so far have appreciated the fact that they don't have something that they bought represented in 9,000 homes all over the place. So.
Is that most of your base? Is like returning customers?
Yes, I would say returning customers, yes. And word of mouth, because we don't really have an advertising budget for 22 years. So we have relied on word of mouth.
Wow, that's impressive.
It's pretty good.
Shout out to Phil and you guys.
Yes,
I mean, come on. You guys have done so much for the neighborhood.
Yeah,
very helpful for the neighborhood.
Very helpful. We're very grateful because that's how a lot of people are staying connected. We read about neighbors, people that move, people that live here. Makes it feel like a community, which is something that you don't feel in a lot of places in New York. So this is like our little village.
What about a final celebration or a last hurrah for Domus, what is the plans that you have?
Well, we have something really exciting. A writer right here in Hell's Kitchen, Lati Selman, has written a children's book, and it takes place inside of Domus. It's about the story of the ornaments on our tree. They come alive on the night before Christmas Eve. It's a lovely book. It brought tears to our eyes. We're going to have a Kickstarter happening very soon, and we're going to have readings inside the store before we close the store completely. We hope that everybody will tune in and sign up for our emails, because we would like to invite everybody, and then there will be bubbly and there will be readings. It's a way to say goodbye to Domus. The last day for store would be the 19th of October, so the last day of shopping. And after that, we have another thing or another event that we would like to organize, where we are donating anything that is left to a charity. And I hope that people will come also for that.